Good morning, all of you. Today we will discuss about, or we will revise the chapter History, French Revolution. In this chapter, as we have already discussed about the causes of French Revolution, and when we will discuss about the causes of French revolutions, so we'll start our chapter from 14 July 1789. That means the day when French Revolution started. The series of events started by the middle class, which shaken the upper classes. The people revolted against the monarchy. This revolution put forward the ideas of liberty, fraternity, and equality. As beginning of the chapter, or we can say the revolution began on 14 July 1789 with the storming of the fortress prison, the Bastille. And when we are talking about Bastille, the fortress prison was hated by all because it was the sign for the despotic absolute power of the monarch. And due to this, the fortress was demolished. Now we'll discuss how and why did this happen? What were the reason behind? That means this is our main question, causes of the French Revolution. So when we will start about causes, the first cause of French Revolution is social cause. For this, we will just discuss about the a society of states in France. French society during the late 18th century that is divided into three estates. First estate, clergy, that is the church people. Second estate, that is nobility. And third estate, which is big businessman, merchants, court officials, lawyers. Second category of third estate, peasants and artisans. And third category of third estate, small peasants, landless labor, servants. That means third estates belong to the poor sections. But when we are talking about first two classes, that is clergy and nobility, they were exempted from paying taxes. They enjoyed privileges by birth. Nobility classes also enjoyed feudal privileges. That means the benefits they were getting from by birth. Only the members of the third estate had to pay taxes to the state. And here are two taxes, that is direct tax called taille, and taille along with this tithe that was collected by the church from the peasants. Along with this, number of indirect taxes were charged on articles of everyday consumption like salt and tobacco. Now we'll discuss about economic causes. When we are talking about economic causes, that means start with the substances prices. That is related with increase in population. The population of France increased from 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1789. This increased the demand for the food grains because when population will increase, automatically demand for food grains will also be increased, but production could not keep pace with the demand, which ultimately increased the prices of food grains. This is a very simple phenomena of economics. When demand is higher than supply, prices will be increased. So most workers as laborers in the workshop and they did not see increase in their wages. And situation became worse whenever drought or hail, that is सूखा पड़ना, hail, that is ओले. Due to this, harvest reduced, and that led to the scarcity of food grains, or we can say substances crisis. This is the flowchart which you have to prepare it. And the words it is written here. After that, we will discuss about the political causes of French Revolution. As in the beginning of the chapter, we have discussed about that Louis XVI became the ruler of the country in 1774, and he found empty treasury. Long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. Financial resources, that means money. And under Louis XVI, France helped the 13 American colonies to gain their independence from the common enemy, that is Britain, which added more than a billion livres, livres, that is the old currency of France, to a debt, that means credit, loan, that had already risen to more than 2 billion livres. Not only this, there was palace, immense palace of Versailles also required lot of money to meet its regular expenses like cost of maintaining an army, the court, running government offices or universities. And due to this, the state was forced to increase taxes. So now, economic causes, social causes, and political causes. Now we'll discuss about growing middle classes. When we are talking about 18th century, that was the period when a new social group that is called middle class, and they earn their wealth through overseas trade, that is export, from manufacturing of goods and professions. And this class was educated also, and they believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. They were inspired by the ideas put forward by the various philosophers and became a matter of talk intensively. And for this, it was discussed in saloons and coffee shops and spread among people through books and newspaper. Not only role of philosophers, but American Constitution, because when America got independence, 13 colonies of America got independence, they have adopted their constitution and provided guarantee of individual rights, was an important example for political thinkers in France. Now we'll discuss about role of philosophers, which is most important topic of the chapter. So now three philosophers we will discuss right now. That is John Locke. Can anyone tell me the name of the book he has written? Yes, anyone? What was the name of the book written by John?
Two treaties of
Two treaties of government.
Yes, two treaties of government in which he criticized the doctrine of the divine. That means whatever the powers, absolute powers of the monarch, he has criticized it. So he criticized the doctrine of the divine and absolute right of the monarch, that means king. Second philosopher, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and he has written the book. What is the name of the book? Anyone?
Spirit of Law.
No, that is written by Montesquieu.
and social contract.
Yes, social contract. I told you that day, you just write down in your notebooks. So that is book written by Rousseau, Social Contract, in which he proposed a form of government which was based on a social contract between people and their representatives. Now next, and the last one is Montesquieu. So when we are talking about Montesquieu, he has written the book, The Spirit of the Law.
The spirit of laws.
Yes, in which he proposed a division of power within the government, and that is legislature, executive, and the judiciary. And I think everybody is aware that nowadays democracy is based on these three institutions: legislature, executive, and judiciary. So these ideas were intensively discussed in various parts, and protest started. Since we are just revising it, now beginning of the revolution, outbreak of the revolution, Louis XVI had to increase taxes, but reasons we have already discussed. Now, Louis XVI called an assembly, that is meeting of the Estates General. And what do you mean by Estate General? Yes.
Ma'am, all the three representative of three states.
Yes, when we are talking about Estates General, that was a political body to which the three estates sent their representatives. And Louis XVI also called that meeting. He was entrusted to adopt the same criteria, which was in practice during the old regime. And last time it was done in 1614. Now we are talking about 5th May 1789. Louis XVI called an assembly. The first and second estates sent 300 representatives each, who were seated in rows facing each other on two sides, while the 600 members of the third estate had to stand at the back. The third estate was represented by its more prosperous and educated. Only while peasants, artisans, and women were denied entry to the assembly. So when we are talking about the voting system, how this law will be passed, it was based on, that was according to the principle during the old regime, that each estate had one vote, and same practice to be continued this time by Louis XVI. Is it clear? But members of the third estate demanded. What they have demanded? Anyone remember what they had
And
demanded?
1%, one vote.
Yes.
1%, one vote.
Very good.
1% one vote equal.
Okay, beta. That each member would have one vote. But Louis XVI rejected the idea. After rejection of this proposal by the king, members of the third estate walked out of the assembly in protest, and on 20th June, they assembled in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the grounds of Versailles, where they have declared themselves as a national assembly. What is national assembly?
And parliament.
Parliament. And vote a draft, a constitution for France that would limit the power of monarch. And they were supported by Mirabeau and Hébésius. Mirabeau, a nobleman, Hébésius, a priest. They led the third estate. So when National Assembly was busy at Versailles drafting a constitution, the rest of France was in trouble, was turmoil. And the reasons were severe winter, which destroyed the food crops, resulted increase in the prices, because when due to natural calamities, less production and demand more, so prices rose. The bakers also hoarded supply of breads for making greater profit. And after spending hours in long queues at the bakery, crowds of angry women stormed into the shops, because when they were not able to feed their children, so they were not having any option, and they have stormed into the shops. And in the meanwhile, same time, king ordered troops to move into Paris. And 14 July, the day which we have started in the beginning of the chapter, the agitated crowd stormed and destroyed the Bastille. In the countryside, rumors spread. Countryside, that is rural areas, villages. Rumors spread from village to village that the lords of the manor were on the way to destroy the ripe crops through their hired gangs. And when farmers got the information that their crops will be destroyed, so due to fear, peasants in several districts attacked the houses of nobles, looted, hoarded grain, and burned down documents, that means papers, containing records of dues, manorial dues. And due to this fear, large number of nobles fled from their homes, and many migrated to neighboring countries. And that means Louis XVI was not having any option, and he recognized the National Assembly and accepted the Constitution. And on 4th August 1789, France passed the law for abolishing the feudal system of obligation and taxes, यानी पुराना जो system था taxes का, that were abolished by the Constitution. The member of clergy were also forced to pay to give up their privileges. Tithes were abolished, and lands owned by the church were confiscated. And due to this, the government acquired assets worth at least 2 billion livres. Now, France, yeah, we can say what were the consequences of this revolt. Now, France becomes a constitutional monarch. Earlier, France was having an absolute monarchy. That means all the powers were in the hands of king. Now, France becomes a constitutional monarchy. What is constitutional monarchy?
I mean, with the power of kings in a limit.
Act according to the constitution.
Okay, good. So now you can easily understand. Now, king will act according to the constitution. All the powers of king were written in it. The National Assembly completed the draft of the constitution in 1791, and the main object was to limit the powers of the monarch. Now, powers were separated and assigned to different institutions. और वो institution क्या थे? Legislature, executive, and judiciary, which made France a constitutional monarchy. Now, Constitution of 1791, lawmaking power were in the hands of the National Assembly, which was indirectly elected. And National Assembly was elected by a group of electors, which were chosen by the active citizen. Who were called the active citizens?
And which has right to vote.
Yes, which got right to vote, and the members Which category got right to vote?
Men, all the men above 25.
Yes, all men above 25 years of age who paid taxes equal to at least 3 days of
3
his
days of
labor.
labor workers.
That means which section got right to vote? Now, women, children, and all youth below 25 years of age called passive citizens, and they had no voting rights. So this is called constitutional monarchy. Now we will just discuss about France constitution. So constitution of France started with a word. Which word?
Rights such as the right to life.
No. It is began with
Ma'am,
the
rights of man.
yes, rights
Right
of
of man
man
and citizens.
and citizens. Like rights like right to life, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before law were given to each human being by birth and could not be taken away. It was the duty of the government to protect each citizen's natural